weary, weary, weary.
This feeling is when you're tired, both physically and mentally, from doing something or dealing with too much. It's like your body and mind are saying stop because they need a rest. Here is a sample sentence. After hiking for 10 miles in the scorching sun, Sarah felt weary and decided to take a long nap when she got home.
Weather, weather, weather.
It's what happens outside when you look out the window, like sunshine or rain. Here is a sample sentence. The forecast predicted a mix of rain and sunshine for the weekend, making it difficult to plan outdoor activities. This sentence demonstrates how the word weather can be used in context.
Weave, weave, weave.
To take threads or fibers and connect them together to make something strong and stable, often by moving them back and forth in a pattern. Here is a sample sentence. The skilled artisan carefully wove the intricate patterns into the fabric, creating a beautiful and delicate tapestry.
Weaver, weaver, weaver.
Someone who makes things by joining threads or fibers together, often to create fabric or other materials. Here is a sample sentence. The skilled weaver spent hours at her loom, carefully threading yarn through intricate patterns to create a beautiful handmade tapestry.
Web, web, web.
It's a network of threads or strings that connect things together, often invisible to the eye. Here is a sample sentence. The spider spun a complex web across the corner of the room.
Wedding, wedding, wedding.
It's a special ceremony where two people who love each other promise to be together forever, usually with friends and family watching. Here is a sample sentence. The happy couple exchanged their vows and rings in a beautiful outdoor wedding ceremony, surrounded by friends and family.
Wedge, wedge, wedge.
It's something that splits or separates two things, often by being inserted between them. Here's a sample sentence. The chef used a wedge of sharp cheddar cheese to add flavor to the salad.
Weed, weed, weed.
It's a plant that grows where it's not wanted, often taking up space or competing with other plants for resources. Here is a sample sentence. The gardener spent hours pulling weeds from her flower bed to keep them from competing with the plants for water and nutrients.
Weld, weld, weld.
To join two things together using heat, so they stick strongly. Here is a sample sentence. The metal worker used a welding torch to join two pieces of steel together with a strong weld.
Welfare, welfare, welfare.
This refers to the well-being or happiness of people, especially those who are vulnerable or in need. It's about helping them have what they need to live a good life. Here's a sample sentence. The government's welfare program provides financial assistance to low-income families with children. This sentence demonstrates how the word welfare can refer to a system or organization that aims to promote the well-being and prosperity of individuals, particularly those who are vulnerable or in need.
Whereas, whereas, whereas.
This word is used to introduce two different ideas or situations that are being compared or contrasted. It shows that what follows is opposite, different, or separate from what came before. Here is a sample sentence using the word whereas. Whereas many people enjoy traveling to exotic destinations, I prefer staying at home and exploring local attractions. In this example, whereas is used to introduce a contrasting idea or point of view. It's often used in formal writing, such as essays, reports, or legal documents, to set up a comparison between two ideas or situations.
Whereby, whereby, whereby.
This word is used to show how something happens or is done. It explains the method or process behind an action or event. Here is a sample sentence using the word whereby. The new policy was implemented whereby employees would receive an additional week of paid vacation time. In this sentence, whereby is used to introduce a clause that explains how or under what conditions something happens. It's often used in formal writing and can be a bit tricky to use correctly.
Whilst, whilst, whilst.
This word is used to show that two things are happening at the same time, or one thing happens before another. It's like saying at the same time or before. Here's a sample sentence using the word whilst. I was studying for my exam whilst listening to music, which helped me focus and retain the information better. In this sentence, whilst is used as an alternative to while, indicating that two actions, studying and listening to music, are happening at the same time.
whip, whip, whip,
It's a long, thin object used to hit or strike something with force. Here's a sample sentence. She used her riding crop to gently whip the horse into a faster pace.
whirl, whirl, whirl,
It's a movement where something spins around quickly, often in a circle or a spiral shape. Here is a sample sentence. The tornado created a whirl of debris that lifted cars and shattered windows.
whisper, whisper, whisper,
It's a quiet, soft sound that people make when they don't want to be heard by others. Here is a sample sentence. She leaned in close and whispered the secret to her friend, who listened with wide eyes.
whistle, whistle, whistle,
It's a loud, high-pitched sound made by blowing air through a small opening or object. Here is a sample sentence. The referee blew his whistle to signal the end of the game.
wholesale, wholesale, wholesale,
This term refers to buying or selling something directly from one person to many others without going through a middleman. Here is a sample sentence. The company sells its products to retailers at wholesale prices, allowing them to make a profit when they sell the items to consumers. In this example, wholesale refers to the sale of goods in large quantities directly from the manufacturer or supplier to a business, in this case a retailer, rather than to individual consumers.
wholesaler, wholesaler, wholesaler,
Someone who buys things in large quantities from manufacturers or suppliers, then sells them to others at a lower price than they paid for them. Here is a sample sentence. The company specializes in being a wholesaler to retailers, providing them with bulk quantities of electronics at discounted prices.
wholesome, wholesome, wholesome,
This word describes something that is good, healthy, and pleasant for people to think about or experience. It's often associated with feelings of happiness and well-being. Here is a sample sentence. The warm smile and kind eyes of her grandmother made for a truly wholesome moment, one that would be remembered for years to come. In this example, wholesome describes an experience or atmosphere as being genuinely good-natured, sincere, and free from malice.